Okay, every Christian needs to watch this, and please pay attention and share with every Christian you know to prepare them for what's coming. This is not by coincidence. Now, if you've been following my work, I show you how we're witnessing Revelation 17 unfold in real time, and I explain how Pope Benedict fulfilled the prophecy of the one who will be there for a short time because he resigned, fulfilling that prophecy in Revelation 17 verse 11 as the seventh who will be there for a short time. And then I show you how Pope Francis fulfills the prophecy of the one who will be the false prophet, because scripture calls him the beast of the sea that was and is not himself, also the eighth, and as the seventh going to perdition. So this suggests he's going to resurrect. So I show you how, though he's dead, he's going to resurrect because of this phrase, is not is himself, which is referring to a resurrection title Jesus has in Revelation, and that it shows that he's the false prophet, the beast of the sea. Now watch this. And then I learned the place where he's buried, Pope Francis, is also the eighth here. So not only he's the eighth buried at St. Mary Basilica, but he's also the eighth here. So you see that he's the eighth twice. And if that ain't enough, look at this. Pope Benedict was there for a short time as the seventh. So as Pope Benedict is the seventh and Pope Francis the eighth, the seventh before him was there for a short time. But watch this. Not only that, look at this. Pope Francis is the eighth buried at St. Mary Basilica, and the seventh Pope buried before him, he was only there for a short time compared to the other popes that was there before him. So now there's two cases where Pope Francis is the eighth and the popes before him were there only for a short time. As you can see here, Pope Francis is the eighth and the pope buried before him was there for a short time. He was the seventh. And as you can see here, Pope Francis the eighth and the pope before him, in a totally different scenario and circumstance, he's also the seventh there for a short time. What are the chances of that in two occasions, in two different time periods, that Pope Francis will be the eighth in two separate occasions, and in both occasions, the seventh one before him was there for a short time? And if that ain't enough, I've told you for 12 years, the prophecy we're waiting for now is the rise of the 10 kings who would give their power and authority to Pope Francis. As you can see in my book, I'm showing that we're waiting for Revelation 17:12 to unfold with the rise of 10 kings to give their power and authority with Pope Francis. That's the prophecy we're looking for that I wrote in my book, The Falling Away. Look who was in attendance at Pope Francis' funeral. 10 kings. 10 kings were in attendance. Just as I said, we need to watch for Pope Francis and 10 kings to have power and authority with him. We see 10 kings were present with him at his funeral, just as I've been telling everyone to watch for. But there's more. Now, check this out. We just witnessed history where the United States just attacked Iran, June 21st, 2025, in which we know is about to set history in motion. But guess what? It's 2 months from the date Pope Francis passed away, April 21st, 2025. 2 months from the date he died. But there's more. And here I showed you how Pope Francis the eighth, as it relates to the successor of Pope Benedict, as we see Pope Benedict resign as the seventh, who will be there for a short time, making him the eighth. And I'll show you in St. Mary's Basilica how Pope Francis is the eighth here from Pope Clement as the one buried in St. Mary Basilica. So he's the eighth predecessor to Pope Benedict, and he's the eighth Pope buried in St. Mary's Basilica. So you see that he's the eighth twice. And guess how old he was when he died? 88 years old. So just as I've been showing these videos recently, showing that Pope Francis the eighth twice, I've also showed you here that he's not only the eighth as relates to the successor of Pope Benedict, and the eighth as the eighth person buried in St. Mary Basilica, but that's also seen again where he died at age 88. As you could not orchestrate this in the way in which you did. This is beyond coincidence. Why is God making it so obvious, then trying to highlight the point? This guy's the eighth here, the eighth there, the double eight there, double eight here. Scripture calls him the eighth. Everything points to him as the one who will resurrect and will usher in the end times as the false prophet and change the course of human history. I didn't make this up, guys. I'm just being led to show you what God is showing us all because I'm your watchman. Now, please share this with everyone and prepare them for what's coming.